I'm excited to get started. So let's go ahead and start seated on our mat. You can do cross-legged or legs out in front of you, however you're comfortable. You're also welcome to sit on a block or a pillow if you want. I like to start every class out with a little bit of meditation, just to help calm everybody, get in the space and kind of get the vibe going. Remember, we're from all over the world and we're practicing at the same time. So you may be alone in your living room, but we are all in the same energy bubble. We're all still sending the vibes out. So take those vibes in as we practice together. And remember, we're all in this as one, even though we're not in a space physically, spiritually, mentally, energetically, we're all there. So let's get started. Seated, we'll do a little meditation. All right. All right, as we're seated, let's gently close our eyes. Your palms can face down on your lap if you're getting grounded, or they can be up if you're sitting to receive energy. So I always kind of just go with whatever my body naturally does, and that kind of tells me how my body's feeling. So as I'm getting grounded here, sitting up nice and tall, think of elongating the spine. We're trying to relax the mind and body, but we also still want to have awareness and presence as we practice. As you're gently closing the eyes, take note of the natural ebb and flow of your breath. Is your ebb and flow quick? Is it short? Or is it long and deep? Start to take note of how the air comes in through the nostrils. Is it cool, damp, dry? Is it warm? Just taking note and getting present in the body. When we anchor into the breath, we get settled into the moment. We get settled into our practice and into our physical body with a connection to the mind. Think of your navel pulling into the spine slightly. Think of your head pulling toward the ceiling as the tailbone's pulling down towards the earth. Every time you inhale, inhale through the nose with the lips sealed. And every time you exhale, you can gently open the mouth and let the air go. On those inhales, notice the lungs expand and the belly expand. And on the exhales, everything contracts and pushes together, releasing old stale air. Now, as a unified group, we're going to go through 2 breaths and we'll get started in our movement. So right here and now, release all the air out of our body, stale and old, release. When you're ready, seal your lips and begin to inhale through the nose, filling all the way up to the top. Feel the expansion in the body, hold it at the top. Open the mouth, exhale, let go. Let's do that again. Seal the lips. Inhale through the nose. Take note of how the breath feels. Hold all the way at the top. Once you're at the top, try and sip in just a little more air. Then open your mouth. Exhale, let go, release, unwind. Good. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. We're going to start rolling out through the neck just to wake up the spine slightly. Bring your chin down to your chest. Let your shoulders drop down and back. Starting to roll out the neck, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Let the back of the head meet the spine. Gently the left ear to the left shoulder. The chin comes back to the chest. Continue in the same direction for now. Rolling over to the right, all the way around. Maybe you go super slow, Maybe you speed it up. If you have anywhere that's tight and holding tension, maybe you hold there for a moment and just let the muscles release and relax. Go around one more time at your pace, or hold somewhere that feels good to release tension. And the next time your chin meets your chest, meet me there and hold. Just going opposite direction. Chin's at the chest, make sure your shoulders are dropping down, left ear to left shoulder. Back of the head meets the spine. Right ear, right shoulder. Chin comes into the chest. Again, take this at your pace. If you're just waking up, this can be very tight. If you're finishing your day and you've been sitting at a computer, on your phone, or driving, you also are holding tension. So allow this moment to let go. Go around one more full time. And once your chin comes back to your chest, hold there. Take your palms, clasp your hands together behind the back. I'm just spinning to the side so you can see. Palms are to the low back. Pull your chin to your chest as you get a back of the neck stretch. The cervical spine elongates. Pulling your arms down. If you want a little shoulder opener, keep the arms straight and just start to lift the palms away from the body. Keep your chin to your chest. We're not pulling our whole body forward. We're just lifting the arms as we try and sit up somewhat tall with our chin still at our chest. Feel the shoulder opener. Take one more deep breath. See if you can go 1 inch deeper. And exhale, release. Bring your chin up. You can blink the eyes open if they're closed. If you're sitting on a block, go ahead and move it to the side or whatever you're sitting on. Coming to all fours. Start with a little cat-cow. Bring your palms nice and wide like starfish hands. Your toes can be tucked or tops of the feet on the mat, whatever's comfortable. Notice my belly's not dropping down. We have a nice neutral spine, so pull the navel in, gaze is down. Make sure your shoulders are over the wrists and the hips are over the knees. Take a deep inhale. Drop the belly down now. Tailbone points to the sky, gaze is up. Feel a nice opening, shoulders pull down and away from the ears. Exhale, cat pose, tuck the tailbone under, chin comes to the chest. Press away from your mat. No need to go too deep yet, we're just getting moving. Inhale, gaze goes up, tailbone points up, push away. Exhale, arch through the spine. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale up. Exhale, arch. Continue on. This should feel good in your spine. We're getting the spine some mobility. Inhale, gaze up. And if you want to go faster, you can. Exhale, arch. If you just want to stay at this pace, maybe you slow down. I want you to feel mobility in the spine here. Continue moving, arching, and dropping the belly. Now, if you want to add a little bit of side to side lateral movement, you can start to take your left hip to your left shoulder, your right hip to your right shoulder, just crunching. So we're getting more of that lateral spinal movement and motion. Continue moving, just getting that motion. We'll get traction in the spine today. We'll get everything separated, moving. You're going to feel great after this class. All right, find stability in the center, no more motion. As your gaze is still down, we're going to work on threading the needle. If you want your toes tucked for stability here, that's fine. On your next inhale, take the left arm up to the sky, roll open. Your gaze can follow if it feels good on the neck. Reach for the sky and maybe do a little shoulder opener. Do a circle one way with the hand. And then pause, go the other way. Getting the synovial fluid moving through the joint spaces. Good. Pause there, inhale. On the exhale, we thread the needle. Take the left arm, go behind the right wrist. Left cheek comes to the mat, left arm stays long. So as you're here, you're getting a shoulder stretch. Your right arm can go long in front of you, or it can stay where it is, or you can find a double bind and put it behind the low back. Now, the more you start to roll your chest onto your arm, you're going to get a deeper deltoid stretch. Maybe your forehead meets the mat. Breathe here and feel the opening. Your arm should be right above your chest line. right above the nipple line, so your arm's going across. Take one more breath here. Stay all the way through to your exhale. If you have your right arm bound or straight, bring it back under the right shoulder. On your inhale, come all the way back open. Left arm comes to the sky, reach up, wide, wide, wide. Exhale, left hand down. Good, moving into the other side. Inhale, right arm comes up. Gaze follows. Same thing, arm circles one way, as big as you want. Just getting synovial fluid moving in the joint space. Go the other way, opening. Pause and reach, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle. Right arm behind the left. You can bring your cheek down, or you can bring your forehead down and roll your chest onto your arm. Left arm can go long, or find that bind behind the back. I want you to really think about the arm opening, the shoulders opening. Find 2 more breaths in this space. Good. On your next inhale, if your arm is bound or straight, bring the left arm down. Press yourself back up. Inhale, right arm comes up. Stretch open. Exhale, come to the mat. Moving right along, we're going to take our left leg and kick it back. As your left leg kicks back, make sure you're staying in alignment with your right hip. So both hips are strong and squared off. Kicking your front or your back heel, so you're kicking through the back wall. Gaze is down, pull your navel to spine. Right arm now reaches out, find balance here. Your gaze is down and your shoulder is long and your bicep is by the ear. It's as if you're reaching out, so shake somebody's hand in front of you. Try and go a little higher with both without letting the belly drop. Feel your glute ignite. Now reach your right hand forward as you kick the left hand back or left foot back, just pulling in opposition to the muscles. Inhale, 1 inch higher. Exhale, both come down. Moving into the other side. Right foot kicks back. As you're here, get stability first. Make sure you're nice and stable, then the left arm can come up like you're shaking someone's hand. Gaze is down. Try and kick your heel 1 inch higher. Feel the glute go, but don't let the belly drop. I want you to keep the belly pulling in. So you're really using the glute muscles. Reach your left hand forward, kick the right foot back. On the inhale, lift 1 inch higher. Exhale, we come down. Take your left foot and go out to the side. As you're here, your foot can be flat down and then work your way up. If you have any knee problems, you can put a blanket under your knee. I'm going to spin towards you so you can see me. So we're here. So make sure that hip and knee are on top of each other. Inhale your arms out. And on the exhale, I want you to roll over to your left side. So reach, reach, reach. If this is too much, you can drop your left hand down onto your thigh for support. If you want more and use those obliques, bring both arms out. Wherever you are, feel that right side body open. Now we'll reach the upper corner of the room. Feel elongation. You have cartilage between the rib cage, the intercostal cartilage. That's all opening and making space. Maybe you go a little deeper. Good. Inhale through center. And exhale, bring your right arm down and lift up. Look up at the left hand and then let it fall open over to the right. Now we're feeling a nice elongation to the left side of the body. Your left foot's still down. Make sure we're not falling forward. We're rolling open so you can gaze up past the bicep. Really reach and feel everything separating. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come down to all fours. Same thing on the other side. Right foot's going to come out. Once you're stable, pull yourself up. And you're always welcome to stay here if you're just working on balance. Always whatever level you want to be at. Perfectly fine. Now you can slide this arm down. Inhale, arms up. If you want to slide the right arm down, you can for support and start leaning over to the right. If you want more of an oblique strengthening, take both arms up. Then you can gaze up past the left arm. If you want to go a little deeper, really reach here. Breathe. Inhale back through center. On your exhale, you can bring the left arm down. This is another place you could have a block if you wanted, or a book or pillows. Now reach. Now notice the line that goes from the tips of your finger all the way to your heel. Your palm, the bottom of your foot's pressing into your mat as you're reaching. Feel all that separation in your side body. You can gaze up past the bicep here. Good. On your next inhale, come back through center, palms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and bring your hands down. We're going to move into a nice little toe stretch here. Tuck your toes under as you stay in all fours. You can have a block or a pillow nearby just in case. Depends how deep you want to get into the stretch. Make sure all 10 toes are tucked. Now you sit your hips back. If you want more, you can start to work your way up. Now, if you're working your way up and it's too deep, this is a very deep stretch. We're only concentrating on the feet right now. If you want less, take a block or a pillow and sit it. It's going to take a little pressure off. You're not having everything combined down onto your feet. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So keep those toes tucked. Again, if you need your palms down, that's fine. That's going to help you work your way into that pose. If your arms are up, let's do a little eagle stretch. Bring your arms out and open. Inhale. On your exhale, take your right elbow underneath the left. You can stay here with the back of the palms together. If that's too much, grab opposite elbow or shoulders. If you want full eagle, arms wrap all the way around so your palms meet. Now keep your elbows in alignment with your shoulders. So come up slightly and feel that stretch between the shoulder blades. Good. Try and lift a little higher. And if you want to, you can start to lean back and find a slight back bend. Again, these are all layers you can take, but don't have to go that far. Even if you're grabbing opposite shoulders, try and pull your elbows up so they're in alignment with the shoulders. Good. Come back through center. Inhale, open the arms up. And exhale, bring them down. We're going to give a nice release to our feet. So come to all fours, untuck the toes gently, and tap the tops of your feet. Good. What you're going to feel there is the blood flushing back into the toes. You can roll out the ankles, scrunch the toes together. We cut off circulation there, and then we let all the blood flow back. That's going to just give it a nice rush, flush out anything old and stale if you have circulatory issues. Now keep the tops of the feet on the mat. We're going to do an opposite stretch. Tops of the feet on the mat. You can bring your arms back behind you. Maybe you stay here. If you want to work on a little more, bring your knees up. If you want even more, bring your hands to your knees. That's going to give you some balancing work. Or bring your arms out in front of you. Concentrate on something not moving. Good. Maybe you get a little snap, crackle, pop in that. Bring the knees down. Push yourself forward. Come back to all fours. And we're going to do that little flow one more time. So maybe your toes will feel a little more open here. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Maybe you go a little deeper this time. Maybe you come up. You can put that block underneath. And we're just going to move into the other side of our eagle. So sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, your arms go open. On the exhale, this time left arm under the right. Your palms can meet, or the back of the palms, or grab opposite shoulders. Make sure your elbows are going up in alignment with the shoulders. Take a breath here. The more you pull your arms toward the ceiling, your elbows toward the ceiling, the deeper the stretch is going to be between the scapula. If you want to start to find that slight back bend, you can go back here. And then start to come forward. Inhale, arms come open. On the exhale, bring your hands down, untuck the toes, tap the tops of your feet once more. Notice how you're feeling this time. Is it harder? Is it easier? Is it the same? Keep the tops of the feet down. Same thing, you can stay here. You can bring your arms behind. Lift your knees up if you want. And you can find balance with the arms in front of you. Now, if you want to go even deeper on this round, bring your hands down while the knees are up and start to tuck in your chin to your chest. This is just an advanced level if anybody wants to go a little deeper. And then pull in. That's a deep ankle stretch. Slowly come down with your knees, work your way back out. Come to all fours and roll out the ankles. Wonderful. Tuck your toes here, moving into our first down dog. With your palms underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, you're going to come into that perfect down dog here. As you press yourself up and back, down dog. Heels are meeting the mat. Your hands are about hips width distance apart. Your feet are about shoulder width distance apart. And as you sit here, pedal each heel down. Start to feel the backs of the legs open up. Good. As you're feeling that nice opening, try not to be gazing forward, but let your head hang. Don't let any tension be in the neck. Then press your chest towards your thighs. Press away from your palms. If you have wrist issues here, you could use blocks underneath your palms. You can also really concentrate on digging your fingers into the mat, the tips of the fingers, and putting most of the pressure between the thumb and the index finger. That's going to take pressure off the palms. As you melt each heel down one at a time, take your time and really press your chest back towards your hips. Good. Taking our time here, slowly begin to walk your feet towards your hands. If you want a deep little stretch here, you can try and heel to toe, and keep your feet flat on the mat. It's going to give you a deep stretch. Or just make your way up. Once you're at the top of your mat, keep your feet hips width distance apart. Take a nice bend in the knees here. Let your head hang heavy, arms hang heavy. And then if you want, you can grab opposite elbows and just waver left to right. You're in a nice forward fold ragdoll pose. If you want a little more traction on your neck, clasp your hands and put it behind the base of the skull. There's a little lump back there at the base of the skull, the occipital bone. You let your pinkies rest on there with your hands clasped, and then let your arms just hang naturally. Gravity's going to pull and give you traction. Now making sure that you've got that bend in the knees, that's going to help give you traction. If you're straightening your legs, we're not quite there yet. That's going to give you more of a hamstring stretch when we're really concentrating on the spine here. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind the low back. Let your head continue to hang, and then let the arms fall over the back of the head. Keeping that bend in the knees, your torso is lying toward the thighs. This is a nice shoulder opener. Head is hanging naturally. Remember to breathe. Release your hands down. We're going to take our hands and go under our feet. So the palms of the hands are going to go under the balls of the foot. So your toes are tickling the back of the wrists for gorilla pose. Keep that bend in the knees for now. As you're here, let your elbows bend. Your knees may need to bend a little more, but your arms are like gorilla arms. Your head's still hanging. This is where if you want to start getting a little more flexibility in the back of your legs, you can start to straighten your legs. Maybe you straighten one, then the other. Maybe you bend one leg, then back and forth. You're going to feel that go all the way up through the IT band, up through your hamstrings. And if you want to do both legs at the same time, feel the pressure of the balls of your feet go onto your palms for a little massage, and then pull your nose towards your shins. And just let the elbows bend naturally. So only go as deep as what feels good. Maybe you're keeping the knees bent. That's completely normal. Good. Coming out of this, take one foot up, then the other. Bring your big toes to touch. Slight sliver of light through the heels.
Take your arms, let them hang. We're gonna roll up slowly like you're coming through honey. And let your head be the last thing to come up. For my count of 4, start to come up slowly, let the arms hang for 3. Coming up for 2. Your head's the last thing on the 1. Roll your shoulders up towards the ears and down the back, palms face forward. As you're in this space, we're in mountain pose. So mountain pose, big toes are touching, palms are facing forward, thumbs roll towards the back of the room as the pinkies roll forward. Think of your top of your head coming toward the ceiling. Tuck your tailbone under and pull your navel into your spine. Many people think mountain pose is just kind of standing here waiting, when it's a very active pose if you're doing it right. Take each toe and dig the toe mounds into your mat. Really get grounded in this space as your shoulders roll down and back. And then lift the kneecaps. When you lift the kneecaps, we're igniting the quads. Feel this very active pose. On your next inhale, bring your arms up overhead. On the exhale, lean over to your right. Bring the right arm down the side if you'd like, and reach your left arm over. So it's kind of like we did earlier. Now, if you want that oblique stretch, you can bring both arms up like we did earlier. If you want to support yourself, bring your right arm to down your thigh. Again, you can gaze up. A lot of times people tend to roll forward here. Roll open, gaze up towards your left armpit. Now really reach your left arm to the right side of the room, pushing your hips out to the left side. Side body stretch. Really dig your feet into your mat. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, same thing, other side. Lean over to the left. Your left hand can come down the left thigh. Reach your right arm, rainbowing over. Now again, if you want both, bring both arms out and really reach. Just make sure we're not falling too far forward. You really want to stay in alignment and stay squared off with your shoulders. Reach, reach, reach. Pushing your right hip to the right side of the room as your right arm reaches to the left. Inhale, come through center. On your exhale, find a back bend, but bring your palms to your low back first. Squeeze the elbows together, press the hips forward. You're on that flat part, the sacrum, the low back. Now, as you're here, a lot of people tend to crunch forward and hold their abdominals. Release and elongate the abdominals. Maybe your head falls back. Maybe you get a little bend in the knees. Maybe you get a little crack in the back. Inhale, come through center, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do a little bit of flow through here. We're going to take everything breath to movement, just nice and slow, no rush. Inhale, your arms up overhead. On the exhale, swan dive, your arms come out, you forward fold, pause here. Once you're here, notice you have a flat back. You look like you're looking over a cliff. Lean forward slightly. Pull your shoulders down and back. You're making a number 7 with the body. Your arms are reaching out. Really feel this here. On your next exhale, forward fold. You can have a slight bend in the knees or you can keep the legs straight. Inhale, halfway lift. Same thing. You can have your your fingers touching your mat, or you can bring them to the shins. Wherever you are, make sure your back is straight and long. We don't want to be curved. Breath in. On the exhale, plant your palms, step back to a high plank and hold. Now your option here is to drop the knees down in your plank. Completely fine, especially our first run through. Or your knees can be up. Shift yourself forward 1 inch, making sure the shoulders are over the wrists. And on the exhale, lay all the way down to your belly slowly. Untuck the toes. Keep the palms underneath of the shoulders. As you're here, find a nice little up dog. Inhale, press yourself up slightly. Let your palms be off the mat if you can. Use your back muscles to hold yourself up. Gaze is down to protect the neck. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Press your feet into your mat. Try and go 1 inch higher. Use those back muscles. And exhale, bring your forehead to the mat. Now slide yourself onto your forearms. Sphinx pose. Elbows are now underneath the shoulders. Feet are still pressing into the mat. Staying here for a moment.
palms are nice and wide. Now almost pull yourself with your elbows and your palms forward, pulling your chest through, but still staying on your belly. This is just activating your Sphinx pose. If you want to go into seal pose and a bigger back bend, press up through your palms and off your elbows. Working into our back bends here, getting the spine moving. If you want even more, start walking your hands towards your belly, towards your person. Good. Shoulders are down and back. Don't allow yourself to crunch in, and only go to what layer works. Maybe you're still in Sphinx, that's perfectly fine. It's still an active pose, it's giving you a back bend. Now, if you want even more, bend your knees for full seal pose and try and get your head back towards your feet. Good, release your feet down. Bring yourself back all the way down how we started. Tuck your toes here. Press yourself back to a child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees go wide, press your hips to your heels, arms in front, forehead to mat. This is a nice little recovery after back bends. Take one breath here. Stay for your exhale. On your next inhale, come back through all fours, tuck your toes, push back, down dog. Right where we started. Take a breath in through the nose and stay for the exhale. On your next inhale, gaze forward, walk to the top of your mat so your feet meet your hands, forward fold. Bring your big toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Remember, you can have your hands to your shins, you can have blocks here, or you can touch the mat. Just keep your back flat. Exhale, forward fold. Next, inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up, flat back. Come through your number 7, all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana mountain pose. We're gonna move through that a little bit quicker, but nothing crazy. Inhale, your arms up overhead. Exhale, lean over to your right. Left arm reaches, reach, reach, reach. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, lean over to your left. Reach your right arm. Remember to stay nice and squared off. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, find your back bend. Now here you can take your hands and cactus your arms if you're feeling more open, or keep your hands on your low back. Find your layer. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, swan dive, open arms, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to a high plank and hold. Option again, knees down. Take a breath here. On the exhale, come all the way down to the belly, untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra pose, hands come slightly off the mat. Exhale, forward down. On your next inhale, tuck your toes, press yourself all the way up through plank. Knees can be down. Exhale, down dog. Good. Pedal out your heels. Feel the backs of the legs beginning to open. On your next inhale, gaze forward. We're going to do that one more time through. On the exhale, walk or step or hop to the top of your mat. Big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, lean over to your right. Reach with your left hand. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, over to your left. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, back bend. Maybe you cactus the arms. Maybe you hold the low back. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step or walk back to your high plank. Flow all the way down to your belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Lift with your back. Bring your palms off the mat. Gaze is down. Exhale, tuck your toes. Press up to a high plank. Move to your down dog and hold.
Take a big breath in through your nose. If you lost your breath, stay for your exhale. On your next inhale, bring your right leg high. Now we're in three-legged dog here. Make sure your shoulders are staying squared off with one another. Try and keep your hips squared off. So we don't want to be open like this. Square your right hip in alignment with the left. Think of your big toe rolling into the midline. Then see how high you can get your heel. Take one more breath here. On the exhale, low lunge. Bring your right foot between the palms. Staying right here, drop the back knee down. So your foot's between your palms. Now you can stay here with your toes tucked, or you can untuck your back foot. On your next inhale, come up. Good, we're in Crescent Moon here. Sitting right here. Bring your arms up overhead. Now if you have shoulder problems, you can bring your hands to heart center. What we're opening up is your hip flexors here. So the front of the thigh, and really sinking in. So the other thing is you can take your hands, clasp them, and bring them to the top of your thigh and really press away as your hips sink down. Just feeling that nice open stretch. Shoulders are down. Good. Bring your hands back down and start to straighten your front leg. We're doing a seated, finding yourself in a half-seated split. Now this is where, if you want to block or anything like that, you're working on flexibility. If you don't want your hands down on the mat, you can either have a bend in this knee and slowly start to straighten back, or you can be up on blocks where you hold on to them by the sides of each hip. Now what we're trying to work on here is squaring off, so pull the right hip back so it feels squared off with the left, and then melting down towards that front shin. Again, this is just if you have the flexibility and are feeling deep and open. If not, you might be up here, you might have that knee slightly bent. Wherever you are, flex your front foot. That's going to give you a deeper stretch and ignite the hamstrings. Good. I want you to breathe here. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, come back, bend the knee. Tuck your back toes. Bring that back knee off the mat. Step the right foot back to meet the left. And do your flow through. Come all the way down. Untuck the toes. Keep the palms underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift yourself up for that cobra pose. Palms come off the mat. If you can, use those back muscles. Exhale, come down. On your next inhale, tuck the toes. Again, you can use your knees here. Press all the way through your high plank. Exhale, down dog. Good. Pedal out your heels. Next inhale, left leg now goes high. Same thing on this side. For one, make sure your toes are flexed forward. Make sure your shoulders are parallel to one another and your hips are aligned. Again, people tend to open up here like this. We don't want to be open like that on this exact pose. I'm trying to keep alignment in your body. Once your hips are aligned, then you can lift your heel. Just make sure you don't lose it. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, bring your left foot between your hands. Drop your back knee down. This is where you can keep your back toes tucked. You can have a blanket under your knee if you need support. And once you're here, untuck, inhale, arms up. Now again, you can have your hands at heart center or clasp your hands and press away from your knee as you let your hips melt down. Feel this through your hip flexor on the right side. Shoulders are down and back. They tend to crunch up here. Let them drop down. Make space in your body. Good. Breathe. This can be a very tense pose because our hips hold so much tension. And our hip flexors are something that keep us really bound up from sitting or if you're a runner. Good. On your next inhale, start to push yourself back. Again, this is where you could have blocks here or bring your hands down. Keep your back straight. You can bend through the knee if you can't straighten there, that's fine. And then start to melt forward. Flex your left foot. Pull your left hip back. And really feel that opening in the hip. Maybe you move a little bit through the hips left to right. You're feeling this through your hamstrings, your IT band. These are great stretches if you're a runner. Good. Slowly working our way back up. I want you to bring your hands forward, bend through the front knee, tuck your back toes, step your left foot back, and press back to down dog here. Pedal out the heels. Good. On your next inhale, shift yourself forward, high plank. Again, option for knees to the mat if you'd like. Shift yourself forward 1 inch, make sure those shoulders are over the wrists. Lower all the way down. Good, make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. This is where we're gonna do a little push up here. You can push all the way up, go for it. If not, come to your forearms and do your Sphinx Pose. So those are your 2 options. If you want more of a back bend, you don't have back issues, come here. Then take your right heel and kick it toward the right glute. Weight's going into the left palm or forearm and twist open to your right. Try and reach for your foot here. If you can't reach for your foot, no big deal. Just twist open then. And you can take your hand to your back glute or your hip. If you can reach your foot, twist and pull that foot down towards your heel towards your glute. Maybe you twist a little deeper, you might get a little crack out of your back. Good, release that foot. Come down for a moment, bring your forehead to the mat. Let your spine realign. On your next inhale, push yourself back up, either onto your forearms or onto your palms. This time, left heel's coming towards the left glute. Again, maybe you reach for it, or maybe you just twist and open. As you reach, if you get that foot, go ahead and pull it toward the glute, heel toward the glute, twist open. Good, take nice breaths here. You're getting a little lumbar twist, and you're also getting a little opener through your quads and more hip flexor. Good, go ahead and release that foot, come back down. Now take both heels this time, kick them towards the glutes. If you want, this is where you can bring both hands to your ankles, if you can reach. If not, then just stay and keep your hands underneath of your shoulders. If you can grab both ankles, go for it. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, pull yourself up. Kick your ankles into your hands. Maybe your thighs come off the mat. Feel a nice back bend here. Squeeze your knees toward one another. Breathe, breathe, breathe. For 4, try and go a little higher for 3. Kick into your hands for 2. Come all the way down on the 1. Forehead meets the mat. Hands are by the side. Good. Take a breath in. And exhale out. Let's do that one more time. Kick your heels toward your glutes. Let's see if you can go a little deeper this time. Grab for your ankles. Now again, you might stay here. That's completely fine. If you want to try and get your chest and belly off the mat, kick into your ankles, into your palms. Press, press, press. Try not to hold tension in the neck. Let your neck be long for 4, 3. Go a little higher for 2. And 1. Release down. Right cheek to the mat. Arms by your sides. Bend your knees and windshield wiper the legs. Give that low back a little relaxation, a little opening. Good. Nice deep breath in. And breath out. Bring your hands underneath of the shoulders, tops of the feet on the mat. Press yourself up and back, child's pose. Knees go wide, hips sit back to the heels, forehead to the mat. Feel that nice opening in the spine.
A little bit of an opposite stretch from what you were doing. I want you to stay for 2 breaths in this position. Wonderful. On your next inhale, shift yourself back forward. Bring your knees together. Sit yourself back onto your hips and bring your feet forward. Good. We're going to get one more stretch with the feet out in front of us. If you want, you can have a strap here. You can also use a block. Depends what your flexibility is. If you're working on flexibility and you can't reach your toes, it's a great place for a strap or a belt. Other option is we'll bend the knees slightly. So no big deal if you don't have it. If you're working on getting deeper and can already touch your toes, have a block. Inhale your arms up. Once you're here, make sure your back stays tall. We're not going to arch forward. A lot of people tend to do this where they arch through the low back. That gives you nothing. That just strains the spine. What we're trying to do is take that and then think of your chest coming towards your thighs. So maybe you can reach your toes here. And notice my back isn't like this and we're not trying to get our chin down to our legs. We're thinking about putting the torso to the thighs like you would in a forward fold. So if this isn't feasible, go ahead and bend the knees. Once your knees are bent, this is when you slowly start inching your heels away. So bend your knees until you touch your toes or use your strap. Once you're here, you can start to slowly work them away and maybe you'll get them straight, maybe you won't. But this is a great way to work into flexibility. Now, if you want the block, because you already can touch your toes, put the block behind the toes. Now, once your torso actually touches your thighs, that's when you can let the neck melt down and the head melt down. So find your layer. Make sure the toes stay flexed. Pull back on your pinkies, your big toes. That's going to really give you the stretch in the back of your thighs. That's the biggest mistake I see when people are trying to reach their toes is they're just arching. Think of keeping the spine long. Feel the stretch. 2 more breaths. Good. On your next inhale, if you have a strap or a block, you can set it to the side. Slowly work your way up with that flat spine. Bend your knees. Bring your hips forward slightly so you're in the center of your mat. I want you to take yourself. Now I want you to do that. Arch through the spine and bring your chin to your chest. Bring your hands by your sides. And I want you to slowly roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, starting from the low flat part all the way down. It should be a nice little back massage. And your head, the last thing to melt down. Arms by the sides. Then bring both legs into your chest. Keep your head on the mat. We don't want to strain the neck. Bring your knees in. If you can't reach the front of your shins, go for the back of the thighs. And then just separate the knees apart so your knees are going toward each armpit. You can roll out the ankles one last time. And then start to massage the low back. Good. We're going to get one more nice little twist to the low back. So take your right leg and twist it over, cross it over the left. So right leg over the left. Tee your arms or goalpost your arms out to the side and then let them both fall, both legs fall out to the left. Keep your right shoulder down. Right shoulder shouldn't roll up. Feel a supine twist. Gaze off to your right. This is where you're going to feel a nice twist to the low back. Now, if your right shoulder is coming up, don't let your legs go as far. You get the true twist by keeping your shoulders flat on the mat. Anytime we supine twist, this puts pressure on internal organs, allows you to release toxins and let go. Good. On your next inhale, come back through center. Unwind your legs, keep your arms where they are, straighten both legs up to the ceiling, roll out the ankles. Now cross the left over the right. Keep the arms where they are, let both legs fall over to the right side. Left shoulder stays on the mat this time. Gaze to your left. Twists are very detoxifying, we let go.
Toxins are released through major organs. Remember to breathe. Good. On your next inhale, come back through center. Uncross the legs, pull both knees in. Find a happy baby pose. You can grab the bottoms of your feet and bend the knees like your feet are stamping the ceiling. If you can't reach there, go ahead for the back of the knees or your ankles. Then just pull down. Try and keep your tailbone rolling down onto the mat. And maybe you rock left to right. Give yourself that one more little massage and alignment of the spine. Breathing here, maybe you straighten one leg, then the other. Good, release your feet, ankles, or thighs. One last big little breath. Go ahead and bring your knees into your face, towards your forehead. Tuck yourself into a tight little ball. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Big inhale. On the exhale, find a Shavasana pose. Your most important pose of class. Your Shavasana is where everything settles and comes together. Your muscles are able to relax. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, release your jaw. Notice if you're pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth, release that muscle. Let your feet fall out naturally. And gravity pull your body into the earth to feel grounded. I'll bring you back in just a few minutes, so stay here and let your breath take you. Anchor in as you did at the beginning of class. As you're lying in your Shavasana, start to become present again in your body if you choose. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe you massage your head gently left to right, keeping the eyes closed as we slowly come back. Now you begin to roll out the wrists and the ankles. When you feel ready, bring both arms up overhead. Give yourself a nice stretch. Pulling the body apart, reach your toes and fingers in opposite directions. Big stretch. Slowly bring everything back into the midline and roll over to your left or right side to the fetal position. A space of safety and comfort. Your cheek can rest on your bicep for a moment. Take a breath here. And slowly begin to push yourself up to a seated position. Eyes can be closed. Bring your palms together at heart center. Thinking over your practice, think about how you feel now compared to when you got onto your mat.
hopefully more open, more relaxed, more present in your space. Find gratitude that we all gathered together from all over the world to share and be energized as one. Bring your thumbs up to third eye center, a space between the eyebrows, a space of open-mindedness and intuition. We're open-minded with ourselves and open-minded to one another. Bowing forward. Namaste.